He is anointed. He is hunted. He has Goliath's sword and 400 desperate men and a cave for a throne room. The king God chose is living like a fugitive. And then one night Saul walks into the back of that cave and lies down to sleep. David's men whisper, "This is the moment God promised you." David reaches out his hand, and what he does next is day 77. The corner of the robe. 1 Samuel 21 to 24. David is alone. No army, no armor, no plan. He goes to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. Ahimelech trembles when he sees him. "Why are you alone? Why is no one with you?" David lies. He tells him he is on a secret mission for the king. He asks for bread. The only bread available is the consecrated bread, the loaves set before the Lord, replaced each Sabbath, reserved for the priests. Ahimelech gives it to David. He also gives him Goliath's sword, which has been kept wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. David takes the sword. "There is none like it," he says. "Give it to me." One man watching all of this is Doeg the Edomite, Saul's chief shepherd. He files it away. Madness in Gath. David flees to Gath, Goliath's hometown, the most dangerous place in Philistia for the man who cut off Goliath's head. The servants of Achish the king recognize him immediately. "Isn't this David, the king of the land? Isn't he the one they sing about? Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." David takes these words to heart. He is very afraid of Achish, king of Gath. He pretends to be insane. He scratches on the doors of the gate. He lets saliva run down his beard. Achish says to his servants, "Look at the man. He is insane. Why bring him to me? Am I so short of madmen that you have to bring this fellow here to carry on like this in front of me?" David escapes. He goes to the cave of Adullam. The cave. When his brothers and his father's household hear he is at Adullam, they go down to him. Then everyone who is in distress, everyone who is in debt, everyone who is discontented gathers around him. He becomes their commander, about 400 men, the anointed king of Israel, commander of the desperate, the indebted, the discontented, 400 men with nowhere else to go. David goes to Mizpah in Moab. He asks the king of Moab to let his father and mother stay with him until he knows what God will do for him. The prophet Gad tells him, "Do not stay in the stronghold. Go into the land of Judah." David leaves. He goes to the forest of Hereth. The massacre at Nob. Saul hears that David and his men have been discovered. He is sitting under the tamarisk tree on the hill at Gibeah, with his spear in his hand and all his officials standing around him. "Listen, men of Benjamin. Will the son of Jesse give all of you fields and vineyards? Will he make all of you commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds? Is that why you have all conspired against me? No one tells me when my son makes a covenant with the son of Jesse. None of you is concerned about me or tells me that my son has incited my servant to lie in wait for me, as he does today." Doeg the Edomite speaks up. He tells Saul everything. He saw David at Nob. He saw Ahimelech give him bread and the sword of Goliath. He saw Ahimelech inquire of God for him. Saul sends for Ahimelech and all his family, the whole priestly community at Nob. "Why have you conspired against me? You and the son of Jesse? You gave him bread and a sword and inquired of God for him, so he could rise up against me and lie in wait, as he does today." Ahimelech answers with complete honesty. "Who of all your servants is as loyal as David? He is the king's son-in-law, captain of your bodyguard, and highly respected in your household. Was that day the first time I inquired of God for him? Of course not. Let not the king accuse your servant or any of his father's family, for your servant knows nothing at all about this. You will surely die, Ahimelech, you and your whole family." He turns to the guards. "Kill the priests of the Lord, because they too have sided with David. The guards will not raise a hand to strike the priests of the Lord." Saul turns to Doeg. "You do it." Doeg the Edomite turns and strikes the priests down, 85 men who wore the linen ephod. He also puts to the sword Nob, the town of the priests, men and women, children and infants, cattle, donkeys, and sheep. One son of Ahimelech escapes. His name is Abiathar. He runs to David and tells him everything. David looks at him. "I knew it that day when Doeg the Edomite was there that he would be sure to tell Saul. I am responsible for the death of your whole family. Stay with me. Don't be afraid. The man who wants to kill you is trying to kill me too. You will be safe with me." David and his men are in the wilderness of Ziph. Word comes that the Philistines are attacking Keilah and looting the threshing floors. David inquires of the Lord, "Shall I go and attack these Philistines?" "Go, attack, save Keilah." His men are afraid. "We are already afraid here in Judah." "How much worse if we go to Keilah?" David inquires again. God tells him the same thing. "Go down to Keilah. I am going to give the Philistines into your hand." David and his men go. They fight. They inflict heavy losses. They save Keilah. Then David learns that Saul is planning to come to Keilah to trap him. He inquires of God, "Will the citizens of Keilah surrender me to Saul?" Yes, David and his men. Now about 600 leave Keilah and keep moving. They go from place to place in the wilderness of Ziph. Every day Saul searches for him, but God does not give David into his hands. Jonathan goes to David at Horesh. He helps him find strength in God. "Don't be afraid. My father Saul will not lay a hand on you. You will be king over Israel, and I will be second to you. Even my father Saul knows this." They make a covenant before the Lord. Jonathan goes home. David stays in the wilderness. Saul takes 3,000 men into the wilderness to hunt David. He comes to the sheep pens along the way. A cave is there. He goes in to relieve himself. David and his men are far back in the cave. David's men whisper to him, "This is the day the Lord spoke of when he said, 'I will give your enemy into your hands. Do with him what you wish.'" David creeps forward in the darkness. He cuts off a corner of Saul's robe. Afterward, David is conscience-stricken. He says to his men, "The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, to lay my hand on him, for he is the anointed of the Lord." He restrains his men with these words. He does not allow them to attack Saul. Saul leaves the cave and goes on his way. Then David goes out of the cave and calls after him, "My lord the king." Saul looks behind him. David bows down and prostrates himself with his face to the ground. He holds up the corner of Saul's robe. "My father, look at this piece of your robe in my hand. I cut off the corner of your robe but did not kill you. See that I have not wronged you or rebelled against you. I have not sinned against you, yet you are hunting me down to take my life. May the Lord judge between you and me. May the Lord avenge the wrongs you have done to me, but my hand will not touch you. The Lord himself will judge. He will deliver me from your hand." When David finishes speaking, Saul asks, "Is that your voice, David my son?" Saul weeps aloud. "You are more righteous than I. You have treated me well, but I have treated you badly. You have just now told me about the good you did to me. The Lord delivered me into your hands, but you did not kill me. When a man finds his enemy, does he let him get away unharmed? May the Lord reward you well for the way you treated me today. I know that you will surely be king and that the kingdom of Israel will be established in your hands." He asks David to swear that he will not wipe out his descendants when that day comes. David swears. Saul goes home. David and his men go back to the stronghold. He could have ended it in the dark. He held a piece of robe instead. The Lord's anointed does not take what God has not yet given. He waits. Tomorrow, Saturday. Dave, Sammy, a track, a shoe company, a word spoken over a young man that will take years to understand. See you then.